shirt. Too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. And I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, this week to this week's edition of Doing with Styles. Now, you all know how much I love wine, and you all know how much that's not true. I am not a big wine person, but recently I stumbled across a place here in Las Vegas, local, that just kind of blew my mind a little bit. And that is the Pine Hollow Winery. And I have the owner of Pine Hollow Winery here with me, and this is Barbara DeViglio.
DiVirgilio.
DiVirgilio. See? And I practiced that 17 times before we came on. Okay. DiVirgilio.
Yes.
Okay. And you and your husband, John, started this winery. This is a Las Vegas, a local winery.
Yes.
And I had no idea that we had any wineries here in Southern Nevada.
Yeah, most people don't know. There are a total of 9 commercial wineries currently operating in the state of Nevada.
Wow.
When we got here, we were number 7.
Wow. And where did you come from?
Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We had our winery there in our 1920s Sears Craftsman home.
All right.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Las Vegas? What?
Well, weather was a big factor.
Yeah.
You know, Pennsylvania gets so much snow and precipitation. So weather was a big factor, and the fact that there were only currently at the time 6 wineries in the whole state.
Wow.
In Pennsylvania, you've got over 400. Yeah.
Really?
So the East Coast is the second largest producer of grapes in the United States, next to California.
Holy moly.
Mhm.
Which brings me to my first question. Do you grow your own grapes, or do you go to the Smiths and get a bunch of them? And
No, the grapes at Smith's are not. You can't use those for wine. We do source our grapes and fruits from vineyards and growers.
Okay.
We source some of our grapes from Pennsylvania still. We have a vineyard in Arizona that we're working with.
Okay.
And we're currently working with a very small educational vineyard in the North Las Vegas. It's not far from where we're at right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting those grapes hopefully this year.
So I mean, I know almost nothing about wine. I mean, I every once in a while I'll have a glass of wine if we're out to dinner or something like that. So I was fascinated by all of the different wines that you guys have.
Mhm.
And these are wines that you have created.
Yes.
And there was a couple here that I thought, okay, I've got to try these. And one is the Toasted Joe.
Yes.
Now this is a wine that's infused with coffee, toffee, toasted marshmallows, and chocolate.
Yes.
So you add that to wine,
Mhm.
and I mean, you can't go wrong there.
No, I've been told it has all of the magical things. That is our number 1 seller in the
Really?
store. Yes, it's excellent over ice cream, great on chocolate cake, tiramisu, bread pudding. It's a dessert in itself. It really
Okay.
doesn't need anything else.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna be over there this week and pick up a couple of cases, right?
Yeah, sure. Come on
The other
over.
one that I thought was pretty cool too is the Tropical Splash,
Yes.
and that's a citrus, pineapple, mango, and banana, right?
Yes, that one we start with whole mandarin oranges and crush them and add the pineapple, mango, and banana.
Okay,
That
so
one
with
is
the
great.
grapes, I mean, do you put them in a big barrel and then take off your shoes and stomp around on them? And
No,
squash it?
we've never done that.
Oh.
We have a crushing machine.
Okay.
Yeah, we put it in there and it de-stems the grapes, and then they go into a big vat, and then we crush them. We have a giant. It looks like a potato masher, only it's ginormous,
Cool.
and we mash. them.
So when you and forgive me for being all over the place, but I mean it's kind of fascinating. Do you like sit down and say, you and John go, okay, we're gonna make this wine. Okay, so if we're gonna make this wine, we need these grapes, or we need these grapes, or we need these grapes. I mean, I understand red wine, white wine, and
Right.
your purple grapes and all that stuff. But is that how you do it, or is it you get the grapes and say, okay, here's what we can make from this?
We reach out to vineyards, and generally they will send you a sample of what they've created, and then we try
Wait,
it.
you mean wine wise or grape
Yeah,
wise?
it's a grape wine. They'll send you
Oh,
a
okay,
sample,
okay.
and then you get the feel for what that grape tastes like, because environment, soil, all the surroundings of the grapes is what gives that grape the flavor. You can have Pinot Grigio from California is going to taste different than a Pinot Grigio grown in Oregon,
Right.
because the soil's different, the weather's different, all the conditions are different. So I listened to a very educational about Austrian grown grapes, and he was very stressing about how the soil, you can have the same grape, but if it's grown in many different places, it's not going to taste
Yeah, and
the
that
same.
makes perfect sense. So
Yeah.
and so you kind of you get a sample and say, okay, here's what we can do with this.
Yeah.
Or do you say we want to do this? Let's sample some different stuff and see what works, kind of thing.
Yeah, we had gotten a bunch of samples in from many different states, and we're still working on that. We're
Okay.
Probably going to get some Gewürztraminer from Oregon.
Okay.
We don't have Oregon yet.
Yeah.
We try to bring things here that aren't here.
Yeah.
Because you're limited. There aren't a lot of vineyards in Nevada, so you're very limited.
Yeah.
A lot of the vineyards keep what they grow. So
one of the other wines that I saw here that just kind of went, what? and that's the hot stuff.
right.
So this is a, if I understand this correctly, a really spicy wine.
Yes, that is our Pennsylvania Niagara grape.
Okay.
Wine, infused with a Thai chili pepper. Every bottle's got a Thai chili pepper in it. It's
Wow.
spicy hot. A lot of people love to use it for cooking. A nice red sauce, a marinade. Very good.
Okay, so that makes sense. And I forget about that too. It's like wine isn't just for drinking.
Yeah.
It's also for cooking and
yeah, a lot of our wines, people come in and said, oh, I put that hot stuff in my gumbo and it tastes great.
Oh.
Okay.
And,
so I am trying to put together a little recipe book with all the things that you can do with the wines.
That's awesome.
Yeah, some of our wines, people bake them into pies and cakes and all kinds of things. Yeah.
So I'm seeing that I got to start getting into this a little bit more. I mean, at this point in my life, I used to drink a lot, but I find as I've gotten older, it's rare. I mean, if we go out to dinner or something, I'll have a drink or something, but I really don't have any alcohol at home. And but I'm like I say, when we visited your place over there, I started thinking, wow, this might be cool, because I know that within moderation, wine is really good for you.
Yes, especially red wine has a lot of antioxidants. We were making a blueberry, which is very high in antioxidants. We have to start making some more. We've run out. But yeah, there are some very good qualities. Everything in moderation.
Yes. So like this Toasted Joe, is that a red wine?
Yes, it's a red blend.
Okay. And you have a couple here that you got some awards for, and could you tell us about those? I mean, you got
Sure.
3 or 4 that.
So we have our luscious pear. It's made with whole pears. There's no grapes in that wine. That was a bronze award winner at the New York International Wine Competition.
Wow.
So there were 2,400 wineries, international, worldwide.
That's
we
pretty
won a
serious.
bronze in our category, and that wine has also won a double gold here in Las Vegas at the Proof Awards. Our Not Your Mama's Tea, which is a green tea wine infused with ginger root and lemon, won a double silver at the Proof Awards in Las Vegas. And then our Tropical Splash that you mentioned is the Mandarin Orange. No grapes in that one.
Wait. There's no grapes in that wine?
There's no grapes in any of those 3 award winners.
What?
No grapes. No. Yeah, the Tropical Splash.
Don't you have to have grapes in it to make it wine?
You can make alcohol out of anything you can ferment.
And still call it wine?
Oh, yeah. Everything.
I never knew that. Did you know that? Raise your hand. Oh, he knew. Okay.
Everything's licensed through the federal government. You have to send in your formulas and get label approvals.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your establishment over there, and it's over on West Charleston.
Yes.
And I forget the cross street. It's in the 7,000 block, the 7018 West Charleston,
Yeah,
right?
7018 West Charleston Boulevard. It's at Antelope and Charleston.
Antelope,
right
that
on the
was it, yeah.
corner, in Fiesta Square.
That's it, and it's really in a cool little place because if you've been in Vegas for any length of time, or if you've been here for quite a while, your location, there were a lot of little places that were tucked in,
Mhm.
kind of out of the way, that were pretty famous, and it's a nice place to go. The thing I liked about it is when I was there, I didn't see any bar fights, so and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. It was really a nice place. So
yeah, we tried to create an atmosphere that is relaxing,
Yeah.
stress-free, where anyone come in and just have a relaxing, nice glass of wine, no smoking, no gambling, and just relax
yeah,
and de-stress from your day.
it's kind of my impression is like an upscale wine tasting place that you could hang out at
Yeah, that's
rather
what
than just
we're.
taste the wine and get out.
Yeah, that's what we tried to create, a place where people just want to come, relax. We have live entertainment occasionally.
Yeah, you have some events here I want to talk
we
about too.
have paint and sips. We've done all kind of things in there. We've had
Yeah.
yoga, sound baths, you name it. We've had it in there. Trivia at one point.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Yeah. You get people all drunked up and playing trivia. Yeah, that would be fun. And some of the events that you've had, you're doing a fundraiser at the Portnoy Galleries, right?
Yes, the second Tuesday of every month, we go to Portnoy Gallery.
Okay.
And we pour our wines. It's called Wine Art and Music.
Yes.
And it's a fundraiser, and it benefits the Tyler Robinson Foundation.
Right.
To benefit pediatric cancer. It's
And what is the Tyler Robinson Foundation?
So they benefit pediatric cancer.
Okay.
And that's backed by the Imagine Dragons.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah, from
that's
here in
cool.
Vegas. Yeah, so we fundraise every month. We go there, and they call it a Portnoy Wall of Honor.
Yeah.
Neil Portnoy does caricatures of the
Neil's
artists.
a friend of mine, so tell him I said hi when you go over there.
Excellent. Yeah. So we take his artwork and put it on our wine bottles and auction it off, and it benefits the foundation.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, we can do custom wine bottles. We
Really?
can put anything on there that you want.
Well, what about fundraisers? I mean, you've got you'll rent the space out for a fundraiser or something?
Yeah,
or
we've done paint and sips for Path
Yeah,
of
I saw that.
Cause.
Dorothy.
Yeah. The Lions meet in our place a lot. We're
Okay.
Lions members. We like to try to support the community, and
Yeah,
we do that by letting
I
them
noticed
use
that,
our
and
space.
that's commendable. That's not, because that's we do that's what the studio is here for too. Is to we're just the little guys. We're all here in this together. We can't afford to spend a whole bunch of money going over to
That's right.
NBC or ABC, but and that's the nice thing about living in Vegas too. Is
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand as big as the city has gotten, we're still just a small little town.
Mhm.
And the support, I love the support that we all kind of participate in and help each other out. So
Yeah, the small businesses cannot survive without the support of the communities
Yeah.
around it, and we've been struggling with that.
Yeah.
To get the community's attention, say we're here for you, we created this for you, and that wine is for everyone.
yeah, and it's we all think of well, I do. I'm speaking for myself. I used to say I'm not sophisticated enough to drink wine.
Mhm. A lot of people think that,
Yeah.
and there are some wine snobs, but we like to put it out there. Wine is for everyone. We like to try to educate when people come in. There's a lot of false things out there about wine.
Yeah.
That you have to be rich to be able to go afford to buy a nice bottle
Right.
of wine. The price does not make it taste good.
No, yeah, that I know. Yeah, but I tend to gravitate towards the sweeter wines rather
Oh, yeah.
than
Yeah.
dry. I guess is the
Yeah,
opposite of sweet.
dry.
Yeah, and you had one. Oh, Rosé all day.
Yes.
And that's a
our
white
new-
Zin, right?
Yeah, we just came out with that one. Those Zinfandel grapes came from Silver Conch Vineyards in Arizona.
Right.
So we started that process from the grapes the whole way through.
There's
and
there's
that's our
another
white
one
Zinfandel.
too that
Our Cabernet Franc.
that's it.
Also,
Yeah.
we just bottled that. So those are our 2 new wines for the season. Those grapes were picked last August, September, and they're just now into the bottle and ready for sale.
How many different wines do you have at any one time?
Well, we make about, I think, 22.
22 different wines.
Yes, but normally we have about between 16 and 18 on the menu.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had to take a few off. We sold out of them, and they depend on when the fruits are available. Our blueberry, our strawberry.
So is this something like, okay, we've made 50 bottles of this wine, and once it's gone, that's it?
Sometimes, yeah.
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 But you do have some that you like over and over again that's popular, and you keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the green tea, Not Your Mama's Tea, we started making that in Pennsylvania. It was a request by someone. We take all kinds of suggestions for wines.
Really?
So that was a request.
I got to make a list here.
And in Pennsylvania, it's made with ginger root, and that's not everybody's thing. We couldn't give that wine away. So when we moved here, we were able to transport our inventory and transfer it into our new license here in Nevada. And my husband's like, well, what do you want to do with it? I said, put it on the menu, sell it eventually.
Yeah.
Somebody will buy it. We sold out of it, and he's made so many batches since then, and that's become our award winner. We were going to take that one off the list. We weren't going to make that anymore.
Wow.
And it's become one of our top sellers. The big thing with that one is made with dark brown sugar, which is not common for wine.
Yeah.
And it gives it that caramel and bourbon flavor.
Ooh.
Naturally.
Okay, so I have a suggestion for you. So there's one of the smoothie places that I used to go to when I was working over at the other end of town. And I used to go in and get the strawberry banana. And the young lady behind the counter one day said, well, would you like some peanut butter with that? And I said, sure, I'll give it a try. Mm-hmm. So I got hooked on the strawberry, peanut butter, and banana smoothies. Mm-hmm. And it's like the best, a liquid version of the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich you've ever had. So that's my suggestion. You should try that. Strawberry, peanut butter, and banana.
I've actually tried they called it a peanut butter and jelly wine.
Oh,
That's
okay.
pretty good.
It worked. You mean you've tried it?
I've tried it. We haven't made it,
Okay.
but I have tried it. Another winery.
Okay, well, if you make it, I'll buy all of them.
Yeah, you're only limited with your creations is what you can come up with in your mind. You can make.
Well, it has to be something that can ferment.
Mm-hmm.
Or
anything
you have to have.
Can ferment. You can make alcohol from it. They make vodka out of potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah.
Yeah. So sounds weird, but anything you can ferment, you can make it alcohol.
So what's your favorite part? What's the thing that you love the most about what you're doing?
The finished product.
Really?
Once we come out with a new wine, it's in the bottle, the label's on it, and you just look at it and say, hey, yeah, we made that.
You
that
created
didn't exist
it, yeah.
Yesterday. Today it exists.
I understand that completely.
When we pour it out for the customer and the customer says, oh, that's great, I love it.
Yeah.
It's that part when the customer comes back and says, oh, we love what you do. That's what makes it worth it.
Well, I mean, from here, you're not really at the other end of the world, but my problem is here with the studio. It's hard for me to get away, but you will be seeing me in the future. So do you have regular hours there, right?
Yes, we're open Wednesday through Saturday, 2 to 8 p.m. and Sundays 12
2 to 8.
5.
I'm sorry.
2 to 8. Yeah, but if we have customers at 8, we never throw them out.
Yeah. So if people wanted to, rent the place out for an event or something like that, they can go to your website and contact you there.
Yep. Just give me a call. I schedule all the events.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have our craft workshops coming up in April. We have another paint and sip with Dorothy Portnoy in
Yeah,
April.
she's a lot
Another
of
wine,
fun.
art, and music in April. Yeah, we've got some new things coming up.
What is it? You had this. I saw this on the 12th of April. The Savvy Sisters workshop.
Yes, I think they're creating birdhouses.
They what? They make birdhouses.
They're going to be making birdhouses for this event, and then in May, they do what it's called a ink on glass, alcohol ink on glass. It's really cool. You drop the ink on there, and then you manipulate it to make.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. That's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, they always come up with some different.
So
ideas.
what's the hardest part about what you're doing, whether it's the wine or the winery? Or
The hardest part is getting our name out there,
Okay.
being heard, and people understand what exactly we do. A lot of people feel like, oh, they're just another wine bar in this big city. We're not.
I can tell you,
bar.
you're not just another wine bar.
We create all of our own wines in our facility. So when you're walking into our tasting room, you're at the winery. That's where it is. That's where all the magic
So
happens.
right there, that's where you
Yes.
make all this stuff as well.
We make everything. My husband.
So it's kind of like a speakeasy.
Kind of.
Hey, Joe sent me.
We don't. It is the best kept secret in the city, we feel, but we'd rather it not be.
Yeah. And you've been there how long? 3 years?
3 years at that location.
Wow.
Yeah. We just need to get the word out and people to understand exactly what we do.
Right.
Yeah. So we don't bring wines in from other places. We source grapes and fruits and turn them into wine. Everything is produced in our facility.
Okay, so it's just your wine. There's nothing
Right.
outside. So and that's kind of good. I mean,
Right.
because that's why you're there.
Yeah, you can do walk-in wine tasting. You don't need a reservation. You don't have to wear a suit and tie, just casual.
It is a nice,
And
casual, comfortable
It's casual,
atmosphere.
comfortable, and like I said before, wine is for everyone.
Yeah.
The people that we love to come in are the people that say, I've never done a wine tasting before. I know nothing about wine. Teach me.
Yeah.
We have so much fun with those people because they just want to soak it up and learn.
Well,
And they usually end up leaving knowing, oh, I like a dry wine. I like a sweet wine. They usually end up leaving knowing what kind of wine they're going to start their journey on. And they thank us.
you also have snacks too, right?
We have a few snacks. We have a few pizzas, soft pretzels. We don't have a kitchen.
Wait. You have soft pretzels?
We have
Ooh,
soft pretzels.
with the
They're
big
pretty
old chunks of salt on them and stuff?
good. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
pretty
okay.
good.
All right, I'll be there. Yeah.
We don't have a kitchen per se.
Right.
You can either have your kitchen and your production room can't be the same
Right,
room.
Right.
So they have to be separate. That's from the health department. So we don't have room for a kitchen.
But you work with a caterer too, don't you?
Yeah, we are starting a new entertainment program. We have a new entertainment director.
Oh.
His name's Lugnut Keys.
I'm sorry, his name is what?
Lugnut Keys. He's
Okay.
going to be our new entertainment director, and we're going to start a new program. We're going to have some rock, some soul, some jazz.
Oh, nice.
We're going to mix it up, and that's going to be paired up with the wines, and we're going to have a nice caterer come in, so you'll get a meal, wine, and a great show.
So, and you can hold what, about 60, 70 people, 50,
Our
60?
occupancy is 99.
99.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it really does lend itself to a nice gathering. It's not too big, but it's not too small either.
Right. It's very intimate, and we've had a lot of very nice shows in the winery. We have Flavio flutes come in all the time. He plays reed and pan flutes.
Yeah.
He plays at the library a lot.
Cool.
He comes in about once every other month, so he'll be coming back in May. So yeah, we like diversity. We want everyone to come.
Well, I can see it's a fun place, and I can see you guys have fun there.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
It's a nice atmosphere. When you walk in, it's like you don't feel like. It feels warm. It feels warm and friendly, and I like that. I mean, when I walk in, I'm sensitive to that kind of thing. There's places that you walk in and you just go, ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, we want it to be warm and inviting and comfortable. I've been toying around with putting a couch in the back so you can feel like you're just sitting on your living room couch enjoying some wine. So that may happen for our entertainment nights.
yeah, that'd be cool. Like a little corner unit, and a little
Yeah.
table there and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's a cozy place.
but this is your baby, right?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
guys, I mean, this is something that you wanted to do, and
yeah.
it's obvious that you're proud of what you've done there.
Yes, so we've been making wine since 2011. It
Okay.
started as a hobby. We decided one year to make wine as Christmas gifts for our friends and family. They loved it, and then they started coming back asking for more. So we got to a point where, well, now it's costing us money. So we got licensed in Pennsylvania, and it's grown from there. We're not done yet. We still have plans for a larger facility.
Okay.
So that he can increase the capacity of the wine that he can make with a larger production room, a full kitchen, a full stage, to have full-on productions and everything. That's the goal that we're trying to
Okay.
reach. But
Well,
it's so far
we'll
it's
help you
been
with that.
not attained.
No, it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough getting started, and I think we spoke before.
Yeah.
One of the problems with any business in Las Vegas is you're competing with gaming,
Mhm.
and so just the fact that you've been here for 3 years says a lot about your place, because I've seen too many businesses come in and within the first year and a half, they're done.
Yeah.
So
No,
you guys must have something that you've been able to hang on this long.
no, that remains to be seen.
Well, we'll help you however we can.
Well, we
you know.
appreciate that. Yeah, we
it-
just did a piece on diversity in business in Las Vegas.
okay.
So yeah, that's gonna come out Monday.
So you got a lot of plans.
Oh yeah, we've got big plans.
Well, we all do.
Yep.
And so we will help you get the word out. Anytime that you've got something coming up, give me a call, pick up the phone. We'll help you put the word out and let everybody know that you're there and what you're doing. And I got to tell you guys that it's, what I was thinking about this when we were over there. It would be a great little place to go sit in the corner, read a book. That's where the sofa comes in.
Yeah.
You can have some wine. It's well, you don't want to do that when they've got a band there. So, but it's a very, it's kind of like, think of it as a winery in a bookstore, kind of thing. But so if you enjoy reading, or just, it would be a nice place to, I just need to get out of everything for a little while. I need to go sit for an hour and just kind of chill and veg out and have some fun. So John does all the your husband John does all the behind the counter stuff, and
Yes.
yeah.
He's the mad scientist that creates all of our wines. He was a Marine. So
Hooah!
we are a certified veteran-owned business.
Nice.
Yeah.
You hear that, vets? Get your ass out there.
Yeah, so we're a certified veteran-owned business. My husband was a machinist by trade. He's been in the machining business for over 40 years, and now he makes wine.
Yeah.
That's where his journey's taken him all over.
So between the two of you, I mean, whose real idea was this? Was this yours pushing him, or was he pushing you?
So we had gone to some wineries in Ohio that we frequented. It was a very slow day because there was a bad snowstorm, but we went anyway.
Yeah.
And so I usually did all the taste testing, and John usually talked to all the owners.
Right.
Which is
because he's got to know how it's made.
That's how he gathered his knowledge.
Yeah.
He's self-taught. So he would sit and talk to the winemakers while I'm sitting there tasting. And so coming home from the winery, because it was very slow that day, he had a full-on conversation with the owner. And on our way home, he said, "Let's do it. Why, we can do it. So in our bio,
And you were about half south, so you said, okay.
I said, what do you mean? We do what? He goes, we'll just start making wine. So we started making wine, and it's kind of grown from there. We're very passionate about it.
Yeah. No, that's obvious.
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Yeah. It's great to take, you just pile of fruit and just turn it into something.
Well, and that's it. I have been in construction my entire life, except for the last 10 years when I'm doing this, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, but that feeling of gathering all of those pieces,
yes, putting it
and
together,
creating something and seeing the finished product is it's fulfilling. And this is something that you can see and hold and taste and share with other people.
Yes.
And that's got to be, every time someone says, "Oh, this is really good."
Yeah.
That is, that's your baby. That's like making you proud.
Yeah. I mean, we know not everyone's going to like everything that we
Oh,
have.
Yeah. It's like, there's no way I'd touch this hot stuff.
It's not for me either. It was
Yeah,
my idea, but I don't drink it. It's too hot.
But you had to taste it though, didn't you?
I did. I stuck my tongue in it once, but it's not for me. It's very hot. But yeah, my husband generally says if you come in and you've tried, we have our wine tastings, you can try 6 or 8. If you've tried 8 of our wines and you find one that you like, he's happy.
Yeah.
We know you're not going to like them all.
Well, no, nobody's going to like them all.
No.
I mean, otherwise we would only have one wine, right?
Yeah.
Or one beer, or one car, or
All that we ask is you come in with an open mind.
Right.
The sky's the limit what we can create. There's there's a lot of traditionalists that they just want the traditional wines. And
snobs.
We don't like to use that word.
I know, but I do.
We have a lot of traditional wines that are just straight grape, our Cabernet Franc, our Niagara, our Noiret, Merlot. We have straight grapes, but then we go outside of the traditional box, because my husband says he likes to create way out here. He doesn't want to stay in that box.
No, I listen. I understand that.
Yeah, you're only limited to what your mind can create.
Yeah.
So he's got a black tea wine with pumpkin spice that we're hoping to get out for this fall.
Okay.
We did a trial run for it last season, and we let people try it. We generally let people try the wines before we go into full production, because if we get 20 people that come back and say, no, that tastes bad, we're not going to go into full production. But if 20 people come back and say, that's great, don't change a thing, then we go into full production.
And so, and you've said a couple times now, so this is like seasonal. It's not like, I mean, you have to wait for the grapes to be harvested. Yeah. It's just like, you can't just say, okay, in the middle of May, okay, we want to do this wine. You have to wait until those grapes are ready, or right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the time for grape picking is a little different on the East Coast than it is here. So it's a little earlier here because it's definitely hotter. We got the call and he said, we've got to pick these grapes now, because if they stay on the vine too long, they will be ruined.
Then you have raisins.
Yeah. Raisins, we don't want raisins.
I do. I like raisins.
So within 24 hours, those grapes were at our doorstep. So they pick them before the sun comes up, and then they bring them to us.
Wait. They pick them before the sun comes up.
Yep. They pick them very, very early.
Is there a reason for that, or?
Because it's hot in Arizona.
From Arizona. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah, very hot.
Because I was thinking Pittsburgh or Ohio or something like that, and I thought, man, that's cold out there.
Yeah. So they so their season starts their harvest is a little later than Arizona. So you start here like late August, September, go through October, November. In Pennsylvania, they have what you call an ice wine. They leave a certain amount of grapes on the vines and they freeze. and that makes those grapes super sweet. It's the
Really?
best thing ever, but we can't get that here.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
people ask
There
for it.
might
I'm
be
like, well,
one
that's
day out of the
it's
year.
a little
that-
bit of a challenge
Yeah.
to do that here.
So because that was, I was interested in, if you guys were out in the backyard, you're growing your grapes or something like that. So you basically buy them from growers. That's their, okay.
Yeah, my husband has told me many times I'm not a farmer. So we allow the people that know how to grow things.
That's
we
the
source
smart
them
way
out.
to do it, right?
Yep,
Let
yep.
them do their thing, and you can take advantage of that. Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So we're hoping to get in the Malbec and Cabernet Sauvignon this year. Last year the crops just didn't. Arizona had some really high winds
Yes.
last year, and it had damaged some of the vines, and that was followed up with extreme heat.
Oh.
And the vines were very stressed.
Yeah.
So, like I said, weather and environment plays a big part in how those grapes come out.
Now, on your website,
Mhm.
you can ship wines as well, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
ship wine to 39 states. Just go on our website and click on the spot that says wines for shipping.
Yep, up in the right-hand corner on the top.
Yes, and then it will take you to our Vino shipper, and all the orders come right to the winery, and we'll ship it out to you.
Okay, cool. How long does it usually take from the time you order?
Standard shipping, about 4 or 5 days.
Okay, so less than a week.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is that okay, like if you take beer or soda or something like that and it gets shipped across the country and it gets shaken up a lot, and that's not going to affect the wine though, right?
No, our wines are sealed with corks, and then they've got caplets on them, so they're sealed quite well. And then we have special shipping containers.
I would imagine, yeah, so the
that
bottles don't
we
break.
pack
Yeah.
them in. Yeah. Have you seen what the shipping companies do with your packages?
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't lost one yet.
Well, that's good. And you can also go over there to the winery, taste the wine, pick it up. Do you have like wine tasting events where, hey, this Saturday or we're gonna have a wine tasting, you can come in and sample all the wines or stuff like that? Or
yeah, we do wine tasting every day that we're open. Just
okay.
walk in.
So anytime you're there?
Yeah, we have a 6 1-ounce comes with crackers, and then we have an 8 1-ounce that comes with crackers, a chocolate, and a glass as a keepsake.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see what
and
I'm
you
going
get
to
to
be doing.
pick and choose. We don't choose for you. You just pick and choose off the menu.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. It's like,
yeah.
here's the samples.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I want a white flight or I want a red flight. It's totally custom to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite of all the wines that you make? What is your favorite?
I love our Warm Fuzzy. It is a peach apricot Chardonnay.
Ooh, okay. I can get into that. I like peaches. I like apricot. Okay.
It's delicious.
You know what I miss? I can't find it anymore. It was a pineapple apricot jam that was made by Smucker's, and I haven't been able to find it for a couple of years. But it was pretty good.
So pineapple wine is next on John's list. He's been telling people he's going to make it for about a year now.
Okay.
So he's actually going to do it. So in wine, you can go up to 24% alcohol. So that's what he's going to achieve with the pineapple wine. And then possibly a spicy pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things on the list that he wants.
I got to keep an eye on you guys.
Yeah.
You're going to turn me into a wino. Excuse me. You're going to turn me into a wine connoisseur.
There you go.
What are they called? Sommeliers?
Sommelier, yeah, it's tough to be a master sommelier.
Oh yeah, sure. I just want to drink this stuff.
Yeah, we have a few that come in and they really do enjoy our wines, but sometimes they're perplexed because we're not traditional.
Yeah. And I was going to say, have you had a situation where this is an abomination?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We had one lady, she come in and she tried some of our wines and she said to my husband, "How dare you put that hot pepper in that wine?" that is just that's wrong. And he's like, well, why? I've had wine with, ghost pepper,
Yeah.
California Reaper. That's even mild compared to some of those.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones out there doing this stuff.
Okay.
Come with an open mind.
Yeah, and that's like I
I
said.
had a woman come in. A husband insisted that she come in. She says flat out to me, I am a wine snob. Prove it to me.
Okay.
She left with a case of our wine. She
Oh,
said,
wow.
thank you. You've opened my mind.
That is awesome.
And you've proved it to me.
Yeah.
So that has to be my best sale ever.
Yeah.
I sat with her while she tasted the wines, explained them to her, and she understood.
Yeah.
And she was so happy, and she left with a case of wine. She's like, thank you. You've broadened my mind and opened me up to try new things.
That's got to be gratifying.
Yeah, that's the best sale, and I will probably always remember that sale.
Because when it comes right down to it, I mean, basically, you guys are artists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your medium is wine,
Mm-hmm.
but just a musician, a painter, whatever.
Right.
It's your creation, and when someone appreciates that, it's got to feel pretty good.
It's a recipe. It's like baking a cake. I mean, you don't go to 5 different bakeries and buy 5 different carrot cakes and expect them all to be exactly the same.
Yeah, no, they won't be.
No, and it's like that with making wine. Who says a Merlot has to taste exactly the same here as it does in Georgia?
Yeah.
It's not going to.
I've been sitting here this whole time trying to remember the movie that Paul Giamatti did about the wine, and I can't remember the name of it, but I loved it because there was the one line in there where we're not drinking no Merlot, so
Yeah, we get that from a lot of people, and then we'll get them to try it. They're like, "Oh, no, I like your Merlot." I'm like, again, we're not.
There was a restaurant at the Paris, Les Artistes, and I had gone there for dinner myself and my date, and she's not a wine snob, but she does enjoy wine and she knows a lot about it. And so this was shortly after that movie, and she ordered a Merlot with dinner, and I almost said it, I'm not drinking no Merlot, but it was really good. And it was wine. All the different wines have different flavors or smells, or and I never realized that. A beer is a beer. Jack Daniels is Jack Daniels.
Yeah, Jack Daniels is gonna be Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Wine changes flavor with temperature or the food you eat it with.
Yeah. The same wine from year to year to year is going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be similar.
Right.
Depending on the weather for those
right
grapes.
But that's what I mean. If you have one bad year, one good year, or
but wine, like I had my most favorite wine ever with my favorite dessert. I put the two together. It was the worst thing I'd ever eaten together in my life. I was like, oh, I ruined it. But yeah, the wine will change with temperature. Also with whatever food you're eating. That's why in our wine tasting, we give little crackers, and that's to cleanse your palate in between. A lot of people look at us like, why are you serving us crackers? Like they have a purpose here.
Right.
They're not
just to cleanse your palate. Right.
Yeah. So the crackers cleanse your palate, and then you get chocolate, and we have on our list of wines which ones pair up best with the chocolates. And so it's kind of a wine and chocolate pairing.
And there is some wines are supposed to be consumed, chilled, and some are supposed to be warm. And what is that?
So the room temperature, generally your drier reds are room temperature. Some of them need to be just chilled slightly. Some should be chilled even more. Some should be chilled, cold. Like I said, the temperature of the wine has a very big impact on how it's going to taste.
So if I'm just using this as an example. If I come down to your winery and I buy 6 bottles of wine, 6 different bottles of wine. How I store those
Mhm.
matters, does it not?
Yes. So all wine should be stored in a cool, dark, dry place.
Okay.
If-
Cool, not cold. In other words,
correct.
you don't stick it in the fridge.
Not unless it's meant to be served cold.
Right. Okay.
So you would not put your dry reds in the refrigerator.
Okay.
Ever.
So if I came there and I bought the 6 bottles of wine, would you tell me,
Mhm.
put these in the fridge, put these in your pantry, put these in the basement? Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. Your basement or that closet is
Right.
perfect for your dry reds
Yeah.
until you're ready to serve them. Some of them you need to open, 20 minutes ahead of time. Let it air out a little.
So that's what's meant by letting it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the type of glass that you serve wine in other words, you shouldn't really drink wine out of cups like these. Or...
No, but you can. I mean,
Well,
it's
yeah, you
just
can
a
drink it out of the bottle
vessel.
too. But
Yeah, you want to be direct, yeah. But yeah, the wine glass is designed to open up the flavors. You want to swirl it around,
right.
that because that bottle has been sealed up for a long
Sure.
time. So you want to open it up. It lets out the aromas. It just opens up the aromas and the flavor and the taste of the wine.
So you had mentioned earlier that all of your wines are corked. The bottles are corked.
Mhm.
It forgive me, but if you go in the supermarket, you're seeing more and more wine that just has the screw caps on it.
Mhm.
I mean, and some reasonably expensive wines with just the screw caps. What the hell is that about? I mean, is it? I mean, doesn't
I'm
the
not
cork
sure.
serve some kind of purpose? I guess.
Well, the cork seals it completely airtight.
Okay.
I had gotten some wine shipped to me, and when I got it, I was rather disappointed because it had screw tops on it and they had leaked in shipping.
Okay.
So those are not airtight as
Right.
they should be, because I had a mess.
Yeah, because if it's got the cork in it, and then it's got the little melted wrapper around it or whatever, so that pretty much seals it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it not only seals in all of the good stuff in the wine, but it keeps the bad stuff from the environment of getting in there as well.
Yeah. We really like the corks. We hand cork every bottle in house. They have different types of openers where you can just they screw down inside the cork and you pour it right out that way. And
Yeah.
when you take it out, the cork's still sealed.
I've seen
and
those. That's
the
pretty
oxygen
cool.
hasn't hit your wine. Those are pretty awesome.
Yeah, because the few times that I have uncorked a bottle of wine, getting that damn cork back in there is really.
It can be tough. It can
Yeah.
be challenging.
Yeah.
We've used it's like a rubber stopper you put in there, and you can put the pump on the top, and it will suck all the air out of the bottle.
Okay.
And it seals it, and then when you pop that off, you can hear it pop.
Cool.
That there's no air in there. That helps keep it fresh if you're not going to drink it all at one time. We get a lot of people say, "Oh, well, after 2 days, I throw it away if I don't drink it." There's no need to do that. It's not going to spoil. It may lose some of the flavor due to the oxygen.
So it doesn't turn to vinegar?
Not usually. Not
really?
Unless it's
a long time and it's
very
not stored.
old and
Yeah.
not been treated properly.
Okay.
It's been abused. Yeah, I've opened some older wines that I've had, and they just did not have a shelf life.
Yeah.
And they were vinegar. So those got dumped down the drain.
Yeah.
But if I open a bottle and I don't consume it within a couple of days, I don't throw it away. I've corked it. I've put it in the refrigerator if necessary.
Right.
I've stored it properly. It may lose a little bit of the flavor because of the oxygen hitting it, but it's not going to be bad in 2 or 3 days. It's
Okay.
alcohol. It's got a huge shelf life.
Yeah.
We try not to put a lot of preservatives in our wine. Sometimes when you get mass quantity created wines, they put a lot of preservative in it.
Right.
And sometimes you'll find that that's what's going to give you that headache. is the high preservatives in the wines. Some people are allergic to those. So you have some issues where people, oh, I can't drink that. I'm allergic. So it may be the preservative they're allergic to, or higher sulfites, or a lot of red wines are higher in tannins. Sometimes those can give you a headache. But we try to keep preservatives low. We don't add a lot of chemicals to our wines. So we've had a lot of people come in and say, oh, I can't drink this or that, but I can drink your wines.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So how much, when you make a batch of wine, let's take the Toasted Joe, when you make that, how much do you make at one time?
Usually with those, it's 24 gallons.
24 gallons?
Yeah, we do like a small batches.
Okay.
Yeah. He just recently got some larger tanks for when we get the large the grapes in.
Okay, so that brings up another point. So when you create a batch of wine, and then you're gonna make a different kind now, what's the process? I mean, do you have to clean out everything and hose it out and make sure there's none of the,
Yeah,
residue?
everything is cleaned and sanitized.
Yeah, okay. No, I mean, I assumed that, but yeah.
Before we start any new batches, everything is sanitized with a special sanitizer that
Even if you're going to
kills
make the
bacteria.
same batch. In other words, if you're going to make 2 batches of this wine, you're going to make 1 batch, go through all your cleaning and sanitizing, and then make the other batch.
Yeah. So it'll sit in the primary fermenter while it's fermenting. So basically you have your grapes or your juices, whatever you're making. If you're doing whole fruits, those fruits actually sit in there for the first few days and ferment. The first few days is critical. You have to watch it very closely.
Okay.
That's when the yeast is most active. That's when the wine is created. The yeast will eat all the sugars from the fruits in there, and that's how the wine's created. So then he'll take all the fruits out after that first process, and then he'll rack it into another container, getting rid of all the sediment.
Right.
And then it'll sit in that container for a while. You'll still see some yeast fermentation going on in there, but it'll get less and less as it goes. And once the yeast has completely eaten all of the sugar in that product, he'll rack it again to get rid of all that sediment, because the yeast will die and drop to the bottom.
Okay.
And then he'll put it into another container, and it'll sit there until it's clear, literally till it's clear and you can see through it. And once it's clear and he gets the taste right, if it's something that's going to be sweet, he'll have to back sweeten it with more sugar.
Yeah.
Because every wine, once it's through that fermentation process, is dry as dry can be.
Okay.
Then he'll do the finishing, where he'll do the flavoring, or the back sweetening is what he calls it. And then it'll go into finished product.
Wow.
It's a process.
Yeah. On average, how long does it take to make a batch?
It depends on what he's starting from. So the pear wine, for instance, starts with whole pears.
Okay.
And that can take up to 10 months or so. The whole fruits is a longer process. The alcohol content's much higher due to that. Hence why he's going to make pineapple at 20%.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so our orange wine is 18%. It's kind of difficult, but he gets it finished in that bottle.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. So if you're starting from the juice form, it doesn't take as long, because you're skipping part of that beginning process.
This has really been educational for me. I'm serious. I mean, now I'm anxious to go out and try a bunch of wines.
My husband
and I'll try yours.
John says a lot of people think I just smash some grapes and shove it in a bottle.
Well, yeah, hey, we've all watched Lucy.
It takes months.
Yeah.
Some take longer than others.
And patience and meticulousness, because you have to pay attention to everything that's going on. And so I can see where his experience as a machinist would be valuable.
Yes,
in the
he's-
detail
he's-
orientation,
He's
you know.
very detail oriented. He's a perfectionist.
He's a Marine.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, through and through. But yeah, it's definitely a process. He won't put it in the bottle unless he's happy with it. He
Yeah.
will not.
How many batches has he thrown out?
We've only ever really thrown away one batch,
Okay.
and that was our apple cinnamon wine.
Ooh.
Because in the beginning, we make a gallon
Right.
just to test it out. We let people try it, and that gallon, we just couldn't. The cinnamon was so high. It was like heartburn in a bottle. It was like, what do we do with this? He's like, I'm gonna dump it, but you can't take the cinnamon out once it's in there. So that took quite a lot of trial and error. He threw away a few gallons of that, but that's why when we're experimenting, we only do a gallon.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Well, there's 24 gallons and 3 weeks that we wasted. Let's get rid of it.
No. He'll start a gallon until,
Wow.
and if he feels that it came out okay, he'll bottle it and he'll let people try it. And if they're like, no, this is garbage, it's gonna get down the drain. He's not gonna go into mass production for something.
So do you have do you have people other than you and John that like test it or taste it, or is it just your opinion?
Like I said, once we get that trial batch done, we let the customers decide.
Okay. All right.
We even had some naming contests. We let them decide.
Yeah.
If they don't want it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and you have a website as well. What's your website address?
PineHollowWinery.com.
Okay. And if you go there, you can find out a lot about the different kinds of wine that they've got, your shipping, your events.
Yes.
Everything
all is on the website.
And your hours again are
2 to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday, and 12 to 5 on Sundays.
Okay. That's noon to 5 p.m., not midnight to 5 a.m., right? Okay.
Yeah. We're not open 24 hours. We are not a nightclub. We're not a wine bar.
Yeah.
We're something totally different.
But, like I say, okay, so Wednesday through Saturday, 2 to 10?
2 to 8.
2 to 8, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, because that's
We are open later when we have live entertainment.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, that usually starts around 7 or 8 o'clock and goes to 10 or 11.
But you can go to the website and find out the events and stuff like that.
Listed.
So
yeah.
The Neil's events are got to be a lot of fun, aren't they?
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The entertainers that they bring are really awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for a good cause. Yeah.
I like I said, I think it would be a great place to have fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work on that for you. So I got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're open. We have a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
There. Mm-hmm.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to kind of wrap this up. Anything that we didn't get to talk about that you want to make sure people know about the Pine Hollow Winery?
Well, when we first got here in 2019, there was not an ordinance for wineries in the city of Las Vegas.
Really?
Yes.
So you could just open up a winery and you didn't need a license or anything?
No, it was illegal.
Really?
Yeah, there were no wineries in the city of Las Vegas.
Okay, within the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. So it was a good 6 months of me calling everyone that I could call, and I got no responses. So finally I had emailed the mayor, which was Carolyn Goodman at the time, and I got an appointment at city council. Our councilman Creer was very instrumental in getting a winery ordinance written and approved through city council. I had to go in front of the city council board many times.
Of course.
We got that ordinance passed.
Wow! Congratulations. That's
yes. We had to get 2 special use permits to be in our location, building permit. All in, it took us about 3 years to get open.
Yeah, wow.
So,
Right about the
yes.
time of COVID.
Yes, we were doing all of those things during COVID. Fun times trying to open
Yeah,
a
no
business.
kidding. Yeah.
So yeah, we were very determined. We were not going to be dissuaded. Very determined to bring our winery and our wines to Las Vegas. And we really hope the community will come out and support us.
Yeah, you
Because
better.
it's been a long, rough journey to
Yeah.
get to the point where we are.
Well, it's a nice place to go, and you know,
Yep.
just like I said, it's not a rowdy place. It's not like some of the bars around or whatever, the casinos. You know, it's a nice, comfortable place. I enjoyed the time that I was there. I didn't get a chance to drink any wine because of what we were doing at the time, but I will be there. I will be back.
Stop back and see us.
And I will bring friends.
Would love to meet you.
And if you mention WWDBTV when you go there, they'll add 10% to the bill, which they then kick back to me. No, I'm just teasing. So did we cover everything we needed to cover, or is there anything else? This is your chance.
I think so. Just come out and see us. You'll enjoy our wines. They're not like anything you've ever had.
And so I want you to imagine a big, tough, badass Marine making wine, and go there just to see that. Okay. And hey, guys, seriously though, thank you very much for all your support, for your support of the station, for your support of the show. And like I say, every week, for those people who aren't watching, and remember, if you're going to do it like they did, do it with styles. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Nice work, John.